You're watching The Ugly Inside. Subscribe below.
Welcome to our big match preview as Saints prepare to take on, well, sometimes we call it a South Coast derby. We're not sure though. Anyway, we're away to Bournemouth on Sunday afternoon on the TV, and to help me preview Sunday's game, I'm joined by Luke from Southampton.com. How you doing, mate?
Good, thank you. You?
Not too bad. I'm looking forward to Sunday.
I am and I'm not. I don't know. I'm not feeling confident. It's a weird one. I think Bournemouth are a bit up and down at the moment, and we're sort of at a level. We're not really brilliant. We're not really awful. So I'm not really sure how to feel about it.
Touching on what you just said there, Bournemouth are up and down. Their home form has been, for me, they've been great at home recently. Coming down from 3-1 against Liverpool, and then obviously beating Leicester in midweek, the champions of last year.
Exactly. There's two big results, and quite a lot like us, they've also taken part in a bit of rotation. So they have got the assets there to get one over on us again, and I don't want to see it because they're a nightmare when they win against us. But I don't know. It's going to be a really tricky game. Going to a small stadium like that on a small pitch, it's one that they're used to. Their fans love taking us on, even if we're, we perceive them as our little sister club. They love it, and it's going to be a hostile atmosphere, and it's going to be tricky for us.
Well, last year in particular, I was down there, 2-0 defeat, terrible. I remember the game quite well actually. Yoshida came off after half an hour, and Koeman was livid. So hopefully we're not looking for another performance this time round. Like you said, it's going to be a tough game on Sunday, and sort of beyond that, our away form has been, let's be honest, it's been poor.
Yeah, we've been pretty poor on the road, so it doesn't really bode well for how well Bournemouth are performing at home. So if you look at it, Bournemouth are the favourites. I don't know if that's going to benefit us going into it as underdogs. Obviously, we've got the superior squad and for me the superior team. But it's a really hard one to call. It's an unpredictable game, and I think it's quite a lot like last year because that one took us by surprise. And I feel as though if we're not careful, they could do it to us again.
Yeah, I'm worried as well. And also, going beyond our form, we're struggling for goals. I mean, Rodriguez had two glorious opportunities against Stoke. Stoke, a game which has been typical of our season, controlling the entire game, kept possession, but no penetration up top.
Exactly. I think that it feels like the only source of goals that we're going to have is Van Dijk and Buffal. And it's just not great, is it, when it seems like in every single game we played this season, our second biggest goal threat has been our centre-back. It just doesn't bode well. I think we've only scored more than twice this season, and that's just awful given how well we were scoring last season. But yeah, we are missing Pella and Mane. I know Buffal's come in for Mane, and at the moment I've got to admit I've been really impressed with him. I think he's shown a lot of quality, but it is tricky to see where these goals are going to come from because I think that Rodriguez has completely lost his touch. Long hasn't scored in 20 games, and Nathan Redmond, the less said about him the better. So I don't know. It's difficult.
So what would you change going into Sunday's game then? Like we just said, Wednesday was typical of our season so far.
We see this is where I sympathise with Puel a little bit because we do need to change something up front, but he's not really got a lot of room to work in. We've got 3 fit and available strikers, and none of them are really in form. I mean, you could bite the bullet with Rodriguez again and just hope and pray it's third time lucky with him. You could persist with Long, which is probably what I'd do. I think that out of our 3 strikers, he does offer us the most, even if he has been pretty awful in front of goal this season. So that's the dilemma in itself. And Nathan Redmond, do you trust him up front really? I don't know. I actually think he's been better up front than he has on the wing, and that says a lot. It's really difficult. I don't think Puel's got much of a choice with his strikers.
And for me, I think the criticism to Puel has perhaps been unjust. I mean, if we look at things where we were last season, we were worse off last season. Koeman, at this time last year, we were in a barren run of form, 4 points from a possible, 21 points. I mean, we picked up far more than that this time around, but the performance on the pitch isn't really what we really expect from last year's success.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I do think that Puel has fronted the blame for too much here. I think that the players, they need to take a lot of responsibility because it's been basic errors in every single game that have caused us to drop points. Rodriguez, he's missed from a yard out against Stoke. And he's done exactly the same against Borough. Thankfully, a bit of magic from Buffal got us out of that, dropping 2 points again. But it's just, I sympathise with him again because it is basic things. I don't think he's telling his players to go out and sit back and for the midfield to be so far away from the attack. I don't think that's what he's encouraging. And I think that it's a mixture of things. I think it's a lack of confidence, a lack of quality, but also a bit of a lack of direction. I don't really know. It feels as though when we're in possession of the ball, we run out of ideas after about half an hour. And when that's happening in the Premier League, things aren't going to go well for you. And I think that that's been the main cause of our goal drought, really.
And do you know what? At half-time on Wednesday night, I said somewhere that Stoke knew exactly what we were doing, and I think Bournemouth are going to be well researched in our approach, and I think it's going to be very much the same. I think we're going to come at them, we're going to control the game, but I think Bournemouth are going to be dangerous on the break.
Exactly, they've got a lot of pace at their disposal, and it's difficult to say. It's hard to even predict the outcome of the game. It could quite easily be another 0-0. I mean, our defence, in all honesty, they must be getting frustrated because they're doing their job almost every single game. That's 2 clean sheets in a row in the Premier League, and that's another thing I will say with Puel. We've rotated our defence quite a lot this season. You know, the likes of Martina, McQueen and Yoshida have all been in. Yet the defensive structure has actually been really good this season. We've not shipped a lot of goals. We've got 12 clean sheets in total all season. And that's a positive. But obviously Bournemouth do have the quality to hurt us on Sunday. So it could be a 0-0.
So final thoughts then, what do you reckon? You said 0-0, are you going to stick by that?
The thing is, right, with a game like against Bournemouth, on paper you look at it and you think that we shouldn't really be accepting anything less than a win. But given the way we're playing at the moment and the way in which we're showing no cutting edge, I don't think a draw would be too bad. But I do have fears that they are going to hit us on the counter-attack, just as you've said. We'll dominate the game, have 70% possession again, but this time they'll have the 11 men. They might have a bit more quality going forward and they can hurt us. So I think it'll be 0-0 or maybe 1-0 to Bournemouth. I don't know, I'm not very confident.
Well, that wraps it up then for our preview for Bournemouth's game on Sunday afternoon. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to check out Luke's articles over on readsouthampton.com. Mate, you've been great as always.
Thank you very much, cheers.
And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more.